So today we are looking at a post-tension slab before casting. At this stage, every detail matters because once the concrete is poured, most of these components become permanently hidden inside the slab. In this video, we will look at the critical checks engineers carry out before approving a post-tension slab for casting. As you can see, the slab reinforcement has already been fixed according to the structural drawings, and the post-tension strands are installed inside their protective sheathings. One important thing to understand in post-tension slab is that the tendon profile changes throughout the slab. At the beam supports, the tendons are positioned higher, while at the midspan between the beams, the tendons are positioned lower. This curved or draped profile is intentionally because it helps the slab resist bending moment efficiently. The first major inspection item is the reinforcement arrangement. We check that the bar sizes, spacing, and placement match the approved drawings. The top and bottom reinforcement must also be properly supported using spacers and chairs to maintain the required cover. Another important thing is checking congested areas around the beams and columns to ensure there is enough space for proper concrete flow and vibration. If reinforcement is too congested, honeycombing and poor compaction can occur during casting. Now let's focus on the post-tension strands. One of the most critical checks is the tendon positioning. At the supports and beams at the beam locations, the strands are raised higher because these regions experience negative bending moments. Between the beams, the tendons are lower to resist positive bending moments at midspan. If the tendon profile is incorrect, the slab may experience excessive deflection or cracking after stressing. We also check that all tendons are properly secured and tied to prevent movement during concrete placement. The strands are enclosed inside protective sheathing or ducts. These ducts protect the tendons and provide the pathway for stressing and grouting operations later. During inspection, we check for damage or punctured sheathings because concrete entering the duct can create major problems during stressing. The duct must also maintain smooth curves without sharp bends to reduce friction losses during stressing. Another important inspection item is the grouting pipes. These pipes are used later to inject grouts into the duct after stressing. The grout protects the tendons against corrosion and helps bond the system properly. We inspect the orientation and positioning of these pipes to ensure trapped air can escape properly during grouting. Improper orientation can leave air pockets inside the duct. You also notice the twisted strands ends at the Anchorage zones. These ends help secure the strands and maintain strand integrity before stressing operations. The Anchorage zones are very critical because this is where very large post-tensioning forces are transferred into the slab. Before casting begins, another very important activity is cleaning the slab thoroughly. We use compressors to blow away dust, debris, binding wire pieces, wood particles, and rubbish from the top of the formwork and reinforcement. This cleaning process is extremely important because dirt and loose materials can affect concrete bonding and concrete quality. A clean slab also allows inspectors to clearly identify any hidden defects before concreting starts. So this is where the grouting will be done from. And then this is where the tensioning will be done from after the casting. This is where they will tension the thing from. If you enjoyed this video and want more, make sure to like, subscribe, and leave your questions in the comment below. So this is a typical post-tension slab that is yet to be cast. And you can see the strands in it as I've shown in the video. And then you can see where the grouting will be done as well as the tensioning.